So continue. So chapter number. The laws of interest, Ribbis. Siman 65. So it's, as I said, it's very difficult subject. So, but we'll try to go slowly and try to explain with examples. But okay, so if any, so I'll try to stop after each halacha. So some of them are very short, but I mean, right. So I'd like you to understand the subject, because it's many cases from what we're going to learn, not straightforward, not what is it? What is the expression? Okay, not so easy to understand with your logic. Let's put it this way. Okay, not common sense. So here's it's not common sense logic, right? Okay, so halacha number 2: one who stumbles and took Ribbis, it's required to return it, excluding advanced Ribbis and deferred Ribbis. See below, see 6 when these terms are defined. Okay, so this see if it's only introduction, but okay. So one more time, we're going to explain as we could. One who stumbles into Ribbis. So Ribbis is an interest, right? Something extra is required to return it. So if person took Ribbis took this interest, so we said that a person like this is not going to be resurrected with the resurrection of the dead. So that's how serious it is. It does not say if person ate pork, he's not going to resurrect with the resurrection of the dead, and does not even say about idol worshippers that would not resurrect. You understand? So we see that HaShem very take it very seriously, right? Okay, continue. Or about the killer. So maybe he's maybe he's not. I mean, it depends on other circumstances. But somebody who takes interest, Ribbis, or gives interest, right? So they're not going to be resurrected in the resurrection of the dead, right? Despite of all other, maybe he's a big Baal Tzedakah or he's a Shomer Shabbos, it's irrelevant. So excluding, so if he stumbled and he took the Ribbis interest, he must return it. Okay, excluding advanced Ribbis. So advanced Ribbis we're going to discuss, and deferred Ribbis, meaning that he's going to pay later. Okay, so see halacha 6, we're going to get to it. So halacha number 3: not all interests is prohibited on the biblical level. The Torah prohibits only Ribbis, Kitzur, prearranged Ribbis. There is when the obligation for the payment was agreed upon at the time of the loan. The following sieve discusses the case in which the obligation was not made at the time of the original loan, but may nevertheless be considered Ribbis Kitzur. Okay, so one more time, and we're going to explain. This is one introduction. Not all interest is prohibited by the biblical level, so some of them are going to be prohibited on rabbinical level, and some of them rabbis are going to say it's like dust of the interest. So it looks like interest and may lead to interest, that avak, right? So avak Ribbis. So they would say stay away from that. Okay. The Torah prohibits only Ribbis Kitzur, pre-arranged Ribbis. So meaning that he lent us money $100, and he said it's 4% interest monthly. Let's say, right? Okay. So that's what is forbidden. There is when the obligation for the payment was agreed upon at the time of the loan. Okay, so that's okay. He said, I can lend you for up to 3 years. Let's say, I'm just making an example, and it's 4% a month. So okay, you can pay in 3 months or 3 years, up to you. The following sieve discusses the case in which the obligation was not made at the time of original loan. So meaning some interest initially they did not agree, but something then changed. But may nevertheless consider Ribbis Kitzur, right? But even though it was not agreed in advance, but something changed, and we're going to see it's very interesting case, right? Something changed in the duration of the loan, and now the person is going to pay. As we did, as we said the last time in the introduction, so it's possible that if he borrow wheat, right, and it was one price, now it's another price. So if he he borrowed the sack of wheat and it was $100 back then, I don't know, 6 months ago. Now he wants to return, and now this sack of wheat is not 100 but 120. So it's going to be interest, right? Of course they did not agree, right? But looks like he's paying more. Okay, so just one example. So continue. Even if the lender did not stipulate at the time of the loan, that the borrower must pay him Ribbis, but he granted the borrower the interest-free loan until such and such time, or in a case where one sold some merchandise to another on credit until such and such time, or if one was able to pay another due to some other matter, be it for whatever matter it may be, and when the time for the payment arrived, that is when a loan or other obligation came due, the debtor commits to pay the creditor a certain extra amount so that he extend the time of the loan for the debtor. It is also considered Ribbis. So we're going to go into details now with all of the commentaries. Of course, so the situation, in general. So in the beginning, it was not agreed with to pay any interest, any Ribbis, and in the matter of the loan, he wants 3 months. Look, I already order merchandise, this and that. So if you allow me another 2 months. So, and I'm willing to pay you extra. For example, if as we said last time, for this borrower, it makes perfect sense. So he agreed to pay this 4% a month because he knows that he is going to make 25. It's for him, it's like a business expense, but for sure it's not allowed. Okay, so let's see from the beginning of these commentaries. Even if the lender did not stipulate at the time of the loan that the borrower must pay the Ribbis. So that's a clear case when somebody lends somebody interest free. Okay, so I give you $100 and you should pay me in 3 months. So I expect my money after 3 months. Okay, on such and such date. Okay, that's fine. But he granted the borrower the interest-free loan until such and such time. Okay, for 3 months I give you $100 for 3 months. Okay, period. Okay. Or in a case, so it's first situation. Second, or in a case where he sold some merchandise to another on credit until such and such time. Okay, so this guy comes and asks for merchandise. So for whatever merchandise, chairs, right? So he took our chairs and he said, in 3 months, I'm planning to sell these chairs. In 3 months, I'm going to pay you back. Right? It's a second scenario. And third one, or if one was liable to pay another due to some other matter, right? Or he must pay, or it was some kind of loan and he has to pay on such and such date. So 3 different scenarios. Be it for whatever matter it may be, doesn't matter. So he borrowed, he sold, doesn't matter. Okay, so first scenario again is when one borrowed from another money for another person money, said I'm going to pay you in 3 months, straightforward. Another case is when he took merchandise and promised to pay so on credit, of course, and promised to pay credit in 3 months. Okay, and the third scenario when he whatever happened doesn't matter, but he owns this person money, right, for whatever, on this date, right? And when so all of these three scenarios, so basically he covered all of the possibilities. I mean, are there any others? I don't know. I think all of them. Okay, maybe some others, but the main ones are here. Okay, and when the time of the payment arrived, when the loan or other obligation became due, meaning these 3 months, meaning this guy was supposed to pay a first share, or this guy who borrowed from us $100 has to pay, or this guy that owed us for whatever reason, maybe we paid for him government taxes, right? They were about to arrest him, and we said, you know what, Mr. Officer, don't arrest him. He's how much he owes you? Oh, 100. So he's 100. Please let him go. Okay, so basically this guy owes us 100, and he said, look, I gave you 100, but you know what? I'm planning my daughter's wedding, so please don't set me up, please. I need this money very, very much. Okay. So continue. The debtor commits to pay the creditor extra amount so that he extends time of the loan for the debtor. So in all these three scenarios, so the guy borrowed from us $100, and 3 months came, he said, look, I apologize. I was out of work. I was sick. I was this. I was that. Right, so I cannot pay you. So, but look, give me another month. I just start work. I'll pay you a little extra. I'm going to compensate you. So if you need money for something, you can borrow. And guess what? I'm going to pay you extra. Right, which is makes sense, right? On one hand, on another hand, like for this, the one who bought it on credit said, "Look, I apologize. It was a rainy season, this season, that season. So I need the 1 month. It's going to be big like fair in one of the towns. For sure, I'm going to make double price. Forget about 20%. I'm going to make double. I can compensate you, of course. Forget about any like 4%. I'm going to compensate you. Don't worry about it. So, in order to extend the credit, right, the time of the credit, they have agreed to pay more money. This is also considered Ribbis. So this is Ribbis like after the fact. So after the fact, 1 second. Okay, so commentary is same. This may in fact be biblically prohibited, since the stipulation made at the time of the extension of a loan is legally equivalent to the stipulation made at the time of the initial lending. See Yoredaya 166.2. So meaning the way I see it, what it says in this commentary. So like the initial lending agreement expired, and now in some sense we enter into new agreement. So and this new agreement is actually they want to pay interest. And like if these people are going to make so much money, so they don't care and they're ready to pay, but this guy is not allowed to take, and of course they are not allowed to give. Okay, so that's like general scenario. Any questions on what we said so far?
Rabbi?
Yes, go ahead, please.
There's a question on the board. It says, Shalom Kol Rav, are we allowed to pay interests to non-Jews?
Yes. So that's a very good question, and that's all of the clown these non-Jews writers in the commentaries. So there is no problem whatsoever to pay the interest to non-Jews, and there is no problem whatsoever to charge interest from non-Jews, but it must be like a normal interest, like whatever they charge. So, for example, I got a new agreement from my credit card, and I just look at the interest. I mean, I don't look at interest. I don't buy things if I cannot pay. So I'm old timer. You understand? So I don't go by credit schmedit. So if I cannot pay, meaning what? I don't need it. That's my approach to life, and my wife. So she supports. So like we don't buy on credit. I mean, I would use credit card for convenience, but only if I'm able, if we have enough money in a bank to cover it. Otherwise, we're not going to buy, right? So I usually don't care what the like interest rate. I mean, I'm not going to pay. So usually I did not pay until now. So I'm not planning to pay. So, but I remember when I was opening these credit cards like a long time ago, it was 7%, 8%, like in agreement they said they must disclose. So now I look at the same credit, they like 30%, 30 like illegal. It's not like a scamming, 30% interest. And I have a good credit. It's not like I'm like bad customer. So 30%, it's unbelievable. So if banks allow credit cards allow the charge 30% or whatever percent, so up to that amount, a Jew can charge a non-Jew, right? But it's annual. It's annual, so it's not. Of course, it's compound interest, but okay. So we got the point, right? So you can borrow from a non-Jew and you can pay for a non-Jew. So and because especially not in Israel, when you live in exile, of course these banks, these credit cards, actually like publicly owned. So I mean it's not private company. I mean maybe there are some, but most likely it's like traded publicly. So like it's many investors, and since most of them are non-Jews, so that there is no problem whatsoever to pay them interest, right? And very interesting. All right. Any other questions before I continue? Right. So yeah. So I think that this is halacha was. I mean, the Kitzur is genius. He set us like all of the bases. Continue. Number 4. The sages extended Ribbis prohibition to include several additional situations. In the CF that follows, a number of such situations are enumerated. Okay. Even if the time of the repayment, the borrower on his own gives the lender more than he borrowed, as we discussed last time, a gift, right? An amount that he did not originally stipulate to give him. And he does not say that he is given the Ribbis, it's also prohibited. So straightforward. So this guy extended 3 times, not 1 time, he extended 3 times. So we feel grateful to this person, and we want to give him like a little extra. So look, it's like it was inflation, this and that, so let me compensate him for inflation. I'm not going to give him anything extra. So if we calculate how much food, for example, he was able, like bread and milk, he was able to buy for this $100 when I borrowed from him 8 months ago, and now with inflation, so maybe I have to give him $108. Well, I'm just making up the numbers, right? So like I'm not giving him extra, but I feel bad that the guy is losing out because of me. So that's very nice of you, very generous. But guess what? It's 100% Ribbis, 100% forbidden. And that's many people. It's for many people. It's hard to swallow this halacha. Ooh, wow. 1 second. Sorry, I have to circle it. It's hard to swallow. Right? He said, yeah, but if somebody borrowed money from me for 10 years and he borrowed $1,000, right? So for $1,000, like 10 years ago, you were like if you were making $1,000, you were okay. You're not today. Like it's maybe it's not that much, okay? Because of the inflation, like everything went up. But 10 years ago was a lot. So I was able to buy a car, like you used the used car, for $1,000. And now I can buy like I don't know, a wheel from that car for $1,000, right? So you want to make to make up for that person, which is absolutely forbidden. Okay. Continue. So number 5. Even if the borrower tells the lender at the time of when he's paying the Ribbis that he is giving the lender as a gift, it is also forbidden to accept it from him. However, if the lender already took Ribbis from him, and the lender repents of the transgression and wishes to return it to the borrower forgives him and waives the repayment. It is permitted for the lender to keep the money. So let's do it again, and we're going to explain. It's very interesting halacha. So one more time, come to it. Even if the borrower tells the lender at the time when he's paying the Ribbis, that he's given it to the lender as a gift, it is also forbidden to accept it from him. So the guy owes us $100, and he said, "Look, you don't understand what you did to me. You sold my life. You sold my this and that. You saved me, and I finally was able to establish a little business. Now I can feed my family. I'm so grateful to you, and here, please accept a little compensation. I want to pay you $25. Okay, like a gift. It's a gift card. Take your family for dinner, for this and that. So here's the extra money, please. Go ahead, enjoy." Right? So it's a gift. So he paid us, and this is something extra. He gave us a gift card from restaurant or some kosher restaurant. So of course, and it is forbidden because it is interest. Commentary. The Ribbis is always awarded willingly and nevertheless prohibited. The Ribbis is always awarded willingly, and it is nevertheless prohibited. So awarded willingly means that we did not ask person for anything, right? So if we ask, it's in halacha 3, right? Or in halacha 2. That's straightforward case. We're not talking about. We did not ask him for anything, but he did it, or gave it on his own, because of his own appreciation. That's also 100% forbidden. See Shulchan Aruch Harav, Hilchas Ribbis, C5. From Tur Yoredaya, this application, this applies whether or not there was a stipulation at the time of the loan of the Ribbis. Right? It doesn't matter. It's very interesting. Was it stipulated? So that he's going to give us a gift. So a gift meaning that you're not obligated, but it's like something that expected. Okay, so it's very interesting. However, if the lender already took the Ribbis from him, so in this case as a gift, and we are allowed to give a gift, so there is no problem. It says actually in the Pirkei Avos, it says you have to make yourself a Rav, right, a rabbi, and you have to acquire a friend. So and if you see the commentary how sages explain, you have to acquire the friend. You give him gifts, you give him compliments, whatever you give him. Like you give him time, attention. That's how you acquire the friend, right? That's proper. So this person helped me very much. He saved the whole my family from poverty. So I want to give him a gift. What's the problem? Right? So that's logic. So if it would not be for this loan, a person would not give him such a gift, right? So instead of $25, he would give him Pepsi Cola or something. You understand? So that's the thing. So this gift was given only because of the loan. However, if the lender already took the Ribbis, right? So he could not. He did, and then lender repents of his transgression. Maybe he asked, maybe he learned with us for the whole class, right? And he wishes to return to the borrower, right? Because as we said before, he must return. The borrower forgives him and waives its repayment. It is permitted for the lender to keep the money. Okay, so he said, "No, I cannot take it from you. Please have it, this and that." So it's after the fact. So it's since he gave it as a gift, so it's proper. It's proper if you want to do complete teshuvah. So it's not halacha. It's my personal advice. Just give it to him, and HaShem is going to repay. You understand? So don't do that. Okay. He did teshuvah. Try to fix it as best as possible. Any questions on what we said before we continue?
Okay.
Yes, go ahead.
So Question the board says, if one lends us money after we return the money, can we ever give the person a gift? How do we know if it's not an interest allowed?
I apologize. Could you read the beginning or read the whole question again? Sorry.
Yes. If someone lends us money after we return the money, can we ever give the person a gift?
Yes.
How do we know if it's not an interest allowed?
Yes. Okay. So that's an amazing question. So I would say that actually it's not such a simple question. So if this gift would be like a connected, so if you would not give him the gift, if you were giving him gifts before, right, before the loan, and then during the loan, as we learn in the introduction, you stopped. You don't even say extra hello if you did. We're not saying hello to him in on a regular basis, right? And now you start giving him gifts, so it looks like we're going to see, but it looks like dust of the Ribbis, because the only reason you give him gifts because he did this favor for you. So maybe after some time passed, I would say maybe like a long time. So everybody forgot about the loan, so it would be gift. There is no problem. You understand? But a few weeks later, even a month later, so that's too close. That's two events are interconnected. Okay. So, and must understand. So the person who like he wants to give this gift willingly. He has appreciation. It's not like somebody forcing him like mafia or something. No, or bank. It's no. He paid back and he wants to give a gift. So we said even then this gift should not take. But after the fact, so since it was not asked, it's proper to return. But after the fact, if he said no, please keep it. You offended me, you this and that, so you're allowed. But as I said, better not to, better to return. Just explain to the person, look, what if something went wrong, and I want to go to Shammai, I want to be resurrected to resurrection of the dead. So I appreciate you give car for $25. Look, we had a great time with my family in this restaurant, but. You know what? I even more appreciate even more resurrection of the dead. You understand? So just to be on the safe side, please take this money, and it should not be no issues. You understand? Okay. Any other questions, or I continue?
Thank you, Rabbi.
Yeah, you're welcome.
So I have a question. So, say for example, someone lends us like a large amount of money. And of course, without charging any interests, and all of a sudden, this person that lends us the money feels they have the right to constantly ask us for favors, whether they be burdensome or not. Anyways, they feel like they have the right to do this, and they know that we could. I mean, it's very unlikely for us to say no. So, is this considered some sort of Ribbis?
In some sense, yes. So I don't want to answer this question completely, because I'm not 100% sure. But let's continue reading, because logically, what you said, it is considered to be Ribbis. So because the only logically, it's not an answer. It's not it's not halachic answer yet, because as we said, it's Torah Seifim. It's I don't know how long it's going to take us, but many classes until we complete many pages. 30 or 40 pages. Okay, we have a long way to go. But logically, until they lend us money, this, as you said, large amount, they did not feel that they entitled to ask us of any favor. Right, he would call the cousin, he would hire somebody, this and that, and now they feel entitled us to come. Look, come, can you come 7 a.m. in 7 a.m. on Sunday For what? We're going to have breakfast? No breakfast. Breakfast you're going to have at home, but I need you to help me to move this, I don't know, the dresser from this room to that room. It's very heavy. It's from 1900s, like real wood, unliftable. You understand? So, and you know what? I have a back problem. Can you take your son, please, with you? So maybe you can. So for sure, like before that, before this landing incident, so that he would not be like would have a shame. Like he would never dare to ask you like come at 7 o'clock in the morning with your son to move a dresser to a different room, right? So in this case, yeah, it looks like Ribbis. Yeah, but let's not jump to any conclusions yet. Okay. Any questions?
Thank you very much, Rabbi.
You're welcome.
There's another question on the board. It says, Shalom Todorah. Thank you very much for your question. Is alerting a lender that one is grateful to, that if he's ever in need and BeEzrat HaShem, your one is in the situation to help, he should not hesitate to come to you, constitute an interest indirectly?
Yes, but after you pay him back, there is no problem. You understand? So basically, it's you're not giving him anything, and maybe it's going to happen, maybe not. So that's a different story. That's a very good question. And as we said, it's Torah demands from us to be grateful. Right. For example, we must be grateful to our parents, and it says if somebody like injure his parent or her parent, like draw the blood, the punishment is the death sentence, or somebody curses his parents or her parents, it's death sentence, the punishment, right? For regular people, if one curses another. I mean, it's of course now we don't have a punishment, but in the days when we had temple and we had specially ordained rabbis with the smicha, they would I guess be able like to extract some money for embarrassment, right? Some compensation. Today not, but in case of the parents, it's a death penalty. Yeah. You understand why? Because the most gratitude we own to our the biggest gratitude we own to our parents, right? So now it's only natural to be grateful to that person who lent us money, right? The bank wanted 30%, and this guy gave us exactly 0%, and 30%. This I'm not sure it's. I think it's annual interest, but it's like compound interest, so it's not 30. It's going to be much more. Depends how long it's going to take person to pay it off. It's crazy, like 30%. Okay. So any other questions before we continue?
Thank you, Rabbi.
You're welcome. Okay, so let's continue. So we're trying to go slow. I'm trying to explain because I remember learning it some time ago. Closer to the end, the cases are going to be very, very complex. So I'd like us to understand the basics. Okay, so far it's not so hard, but okay, continue. So number 6, it is forbidden to advance the Ribbis or to defer it. Okay. The prohibitions are defined. What are the cases? Reuven desires to borrow money from Siman. Therefore, he first sends Siman a gift. You see, and specifies that it is in order that he should lend him money, or it is a large gift, which due to the size, even without specifying its purpose. It is as he specified that it is in order that Siman should lend him money. This is advance pre-loan Ribbis. One who borrowed from someone and repaid him, and he subsequently sent him lender gift. So here's a question, right? Here's a question. As a compensation for the lender's money that remained idle in his possession, the lender was unable to access his money for the duration of the loan. This is deferred post-payment Ribbis. Understand? As we said, because it is connected to the loan. So if it's like, as I said, maybe a year later, it's not, maybe there is no such a connection, and it's not a huge gift, and something like talking of appreciation and stuff like that. That's a very, very different story. But let's work on this sieve. So one more time, it is forbidden to advance the Ribbis or defer it. So we're not allowed, as the Kitzur say, like advance meaning pay him in advance. So that's how much I'm going to pay, and now please lend me money, and I'm going to pay you without interest, because guess what? I gave you already a gift, right? Or defer it, meaning after the fact, after person has this appreciation for the gift. So it's still like logic is the only reason he gives him a gift after he repaid, because he appreciation for the loan. If it was not for the loan, he would not send him a gift. He would not even call him, and he would not acknowledge him. You understand? So that's Ribbis. So one more time, this prohibition is defined what are cases. Reuven desired to borrow money from Siman. Therefore, first he sends him a gift and specifies that it is in order he should lend him money. So meaning, I guess this gift is not very significant. So as because Siman might understand, maybe it's like a token of appreciation, like with friends or relatives. I missed only 7 of your birthdays, or I never call you on Rosh Hashanah, and this and that, so I want to give you a gift. So I mean, people have like this what is it, like mood thing that they want to give somebody a token of appreciation. No problem. And he explained why, because it is in order to borrow money from you. Okay. Or if it is a large gift, which is due to the size, even without specifying the purpose, it is as if he specified that in order that Siman should lend him money. This is advanced Ribbis, right? So if he send them, I don't know, what is a package, like, I don't know, like if you talk about big loans, right? Big loans, so he send them package for 4 or for 2, whatever, to go to Israel. Tickets and hotel. Let's say this package costs $6,000. I'm just making up numbers, right? Why? Because he wants to borrow from him 200,000 or 150,000 for his business, right? So he like prepays him, gives him in advance. So usually people don't give people gifts like that, right? If he gave, so like it's obvious that he wants something from him, right? What he wants, loan. You understand? So all of these are prepaid Ribbis. So meaning the prepaid, given the interest in advance, absolutely forbidden. One who borrowed from someone and repaid him, and subsequently sends him the lender gift as a compensation for the lender's money. So it's clear, like a compensation. Otherwise, he would not send him gift. That remained idle in his possession. So he feels bad, like, I understand, look, this guy is a good businessman, look, I understand he would buy another property, another apartment or something, I don't know, for this money, right? But he decided to lend it to me, so I feel bad because of his loss, and I want to compensate. I know that he would make 20%, I want to give him that 3%. Like a gift that's worth 3%. So of course it's not compensation, but at least something. So it is also forbidden, right? And because what? Because this person feels bad. Okay, this is deferred post-payment Ribbis. So that Ribbis is prepaid, and this post-payment still forbidden. Okay. Any questions before we continue? This halacha. Yes. Go ahead, please.
So of course I would assume this would be allowed to be done with non-Jews, right? Like
Yeah. All of this for non-Jews, that's it's out of question. Yeah, you can land them, and it's proper. Look, it's proper when somebody does do some things for you. Just say thank you, send him something. There's no problem. Right. Any other questions? Yeah, you're welcome. Okay, so let's continue. Let's do maybe one more. So it's number 7. So let me quickly circle it. I'm not sure if I'm ever going to make a clips out of it, but number 7. And it says, if one lends his money to his fellow for a certain length of time, in order that his fellow should in turn lend him money at different time, it was stipulated at the time of the loan that the borrower must do in return, whether it is a large amount of money or for the equal length of time, or equal amount for a longer period. This is actual Ribbis. So, and in some sense, I'm not sure if we're going to discuss, but for sure we're going to discuss if somebody offers some favor, right? Do something for free for that person. So it's also in some sense it is Ribbis. Okay, why? Because otherwise that person would need to pay somebody, right? So they go into vacation for 3 months, and they want somebody to walk their dog, right? And like feed their fish, or like I don't know, like take their mail, take care of their apartment. What are the plans, right? So this person is that is doing it for free, but because of what? Because he borrowed the money from this person. Very simple. So let's split it in 2 halves. So again, first half is the commentaries. If one lends him his money to his fellow for the certain length of time, right? So for 3 months, let's say, in order that his fellow should in turn lend him money for a different time, right? So they try to exchange the favors. So meaning the only reason, so logically, what is the problem? I need money now, so I borrow from him, and next time when he needs money, he borrows from me. What is the problem? It's being nice. Like, he does not charge me interest, and I don't charge him interest, right? But it's only on the surface. The issue is that the only reason we will lend him money because later on we will need to borrow money from him, right? So it's not free. So one more time the whole sentence. If one lends his money to his fellow for a certain length of time, in order that he fellow should in return, so that's condition, should in return lend him money in different time. It was stipulated at the time of the loan that the borrower must do so in return. Okay, so I have some funds. I don't need them, but in June or July, you know what? I would need this money back, and my money back, and even, you know what? I would need even to borrow from you. So is it deal? So now I don't need money. I'm going to borrow from you, but in July, I'll need to borrow from you even more. Okay, so that's condition, right? Whether the larger amount of money or an equal length of time. So it does not matter. Like, it's more money, less money for same period of time. Not like all of the combinations are irrelevant. Or equal amount for a longer period of time. Right? This is actual Ribbis. Commentary. Even though the borrower is not paying him interest, but the merely agreement to lend him money is nevertheless, since it's been stipulated at the loan that the loan must be greater, either in size of duration, is considered Ribbis. Okay, so same loan is not considered Ribbis, but if it's for a longer period of time or a larger amount, it's going to be Ribbis. All these different combinations. It's very interesting, right? So he gives lends this person money only. Why? Because he can get something more. Okay. So, but like on another hand, if he lent him money without any stipulation, and then he comes and said, like, can I borrow from you? And the other person lend him, there is no problem. It's not Ribbis. It's not. There's two separate events. But in this case, the only reason he lends him now because he planning to borrow from him later on, and plus even for a longer period of time or bigger amount. Okay. So continue. Second part of the halacha. If one lends money to another on condition that the borrower should, in return, lend the lender at another time an equal amount or an equal length of time, though there are those who say that that is also prohibited. That's what I suspected. And there are also those who say it is permitted. One should conduct himself stringently and not to make such a condition. However, if they did not make such a condition at the time of the first loan, but the borrower willingly lends the original lender money at different time, even if he is doing so only because his fellow also previously lent him, in such a case, one may conduct himself leniently. So as we just explained even before he did that. Okay, so let's read again with commentaries and see what we can learn from here. So again, if one lends the money to another on condition that the borrower should in return lend the lender at another time equal amount for an equal length of time. So he said, look, I'm going to lend you now $3,000, but you know what, in July I would need to borrow, I would need you to pay me back whatever it took, and I also would need to borrow from you $30,000 and also for 5 months, 3 months, whatever, exactly the same loan. So now I'm not using this money, please use it, invest it, but I would need to get my money plus extra. Okay, so there are those who say that it is permitted. So there are those who say that it is also prohibited. Because, for me, it's very logical, because the only reason, again, logic is the same. You lend him money because you want to get his money, like back, right? You want to borrow his money, right? But there are those who are lenient, say that it is permitted, meaning that that person is not gaining. It's hard to say that he's not gaining, like in my mind, because he's securing his loan, right? But when he needs to borrow, he knows where to go. Okay, continue. One should conduct himself stringently and not to make such a condition. So meaning that if it's a normal person who you lend the money, and it's normal that the person would have appreciation, and when you have a time of need, so he's going to lend you as well. So just keep your mouth shut, even if you have such a thoughts, and he's going to lend you, like if he's a normal person, as we said. But if you said make this condition, that's problematic, according to one opinion at least. However, if they did not make such a condition at the time of the first loan, right, but the borrower willingly lends the original lender money at different time. So when this guy paid me back and said, thank you very much for paying me back. So now, you know what, I apologize, but I would need to ask you for a loan for same amount, for same duration of time, 4 months. Okay. So there is no problem. Even if he is doing so only because his fellow also previously lent him, right? So even though he does it because of appreciation, maybe if he would not if he would not borrow from him, maybe he would not lend him now, maybe, right? Despite of this, in such a case, one may conduct himself leniently. But in my mind, like if you see that this person is reliable, he kept his word, like he gave you money, right? He borrowed money from you, and he paid you on time, and everything was with respect and nice. So now, like, where are you going to go to borrow the money? I mean, since you have this experience with that person, right, and he's reliable, he's honest, so why don't you borrow from him? I mean, for me, it's logical. So after these relationships, borrow from him. So in such a case, one may conduct himself leniently. Commentary. Even in a case where there was no stipulation, it is permitted only in the manner is being discussed here. That is, where the second loan is equal amount and duration. So that's a very interesting commentary, right? So not like we said in the first part, like a larger loan for the same amount of time, or the same loan for larger longer time. Okay. So equal in duration. It is not permitted second loan for the larger amount of time, larger amount of longer duration. See Shulchan Aruch Harav, Hilchas Ribbis, Sif 6. Very interesting. Okay, so right, I guess we can stop here. Any questions on what we said?
Okay.
Yes, go ahead.
So I had this question, but I believe there's a question on the board that also covers what I wanted to ask.
Yes, go ahead.
If Shimon lends money to Reuben with expectation that Reuben will lend him more money if needed in the future, but they did not stipulate anything, is this Ribbis?
So if so, that's exactly the case we discussed last. One second, let's put bookmark here. So it's if it's same amount of money for the same duration of time, according to Kitzur Shulchan Aruch, it's not Ribbis. So I mean, at least there are poskim that we can rely on in case of the need. And as I explained, like it's my personal opinion, but logically I would prefer to deal with that person. Right, so he was honest to pay me on time. So next time I need to borrow, like I want to borrow from a normal person, from him. Right. So, but as we said after that, so if it's he borrow for like 1,000 for 3 months, so and now he wants to borrow like 2,000 also for 3 months, it would be Ribbis, because like he's gaining something from it. Right. So the only condition that would be allowed, same amount of money for same duration of time. So it's like you exchanging favors. There's one-to-one. And duration of time is also advantage, right? Right. So I mean, if you would pay for example, if somebody would pay interest, so every month, every day costs us money. So if he lent us for 3 months, and now he wants to borrow us from us for 6 months. So this So of course it's like financial advantage of borrowing for a longer period of time. Okay. What else?
Thank you, Rabbi.
You're welcome.
So, regardless of the amount of money and the length of time, the money that I was lent is tied to. So, what is like the role of the intention here in this case? For example, I've been through a couple situations in my life where some people would do some favors to me. Okay, so just for the sake of example, let's say it was money, and I would say, okay, why would you do this for me? And they would reply back to me, okay, I'm doing this for you because I know in the future you're gonna do this for me in case I need it. That was like the answer for this couple people. So I was saying, in case I like within the Jewish context, would this be forbidden according to this prohibition?
See, that's a general statement. It does not connect to anything. So maybe they're going to ask, maybe they're never going to ask. You understand? And nothing was specified. So maybe it's going to be 5 years from now. Is it Ribbis? I don't think so.
So, so even if the person mamash has the intention to, say for example, ensure himself someone that is going to lend him money in the future, is this still not considered Ribbis? Like, even if the person does it just for the sake of this?
So they lend you money in order to ask you for a favor in the future. So that's
Yeah.
So if it's specific favor, look, if it's specific favor, he said, you know what, I don't know, I'm going to move in 3 months from now, so I would need your help in moving, right? So that's a Ribbis for sure, 100%. Because he told you when and how you're going to repay him, because this he would save money on hiring a mover, right? For sure, that's Ribbis. But if it was said like as I understand in general, maybe look, I know you're a good guy. Maybe in 10 years from now, I would need a favor, so I know who to come to. Okay, that's a different story. It's nothing like specific. So Ribbis must be specific, something, or even if they give you gift, also like specific, like. But this gift is connected clearly to this thing.
Thank you, Rabbi.
You're welcome.